Does anyone else ever find themselves thinking back to those bold tech promises that once electrified the world, those futuristic concepts that looked unstoppable until they simply vanished? Because one particular story has refused to fade from the memory of anyone who has ever followed electric vehicle innovation. It's the story of Aptera, a machine once introduced as the car of the future, a machine so radical, so unlike anything on the road, and so futuristic that it felt more like a prophecy than a product. And yet, after nearly 20 years, that machine still hasn't delivered a single production vehicle, not one. It's the story of Aptera, a dream that has shifted shape, collapsed, resurrected, and continues to hover in a strange state of existence. A 20-year promise that refuses to die, yet can't seem to fully take form. Looking back to 2006, long before electric cars became fashionable and before EV technology captured mainstream attention, a small, unknown company called Accelerated Composites emerged with a concept that looked impossible for its time. Their pitch was nothing short of outrageous: a three-wheeled, ultra-light, ultra-aerodynamic vehicle shaped like something straight out of a science fiction movie. A machine capable of achieving more than 300 miles per gallon. It looked like it came from a future where physics operated differently. The moment people saw it, curiosity and excitement ignited instantly. This wasn't just a quirky little vehicle. It was something that challenged everything people thought a car could be. Even before it was fully electric, its efficiency was so shocking that it demanded attention. The founders didn't just want to make a better car, they wanted to rewrite the very rules that governed automotive engineering. And like any revolutionary idea, it made people question whether these visionaries were geniuses or dreamers pushing too far. But then, the concept evolved, and the dream became even more extraordinary. The founders asked the question, what if a car didn't just save energy, but generated its own? The company rebranded into Aptera Motors and pivoted its vision into something far more radical: a solar-powered car capable of charging itself purely from sunlight, no plug required. The idea sent a shockwave through the tech community: a car that could run without conventional charging infrastructure, a vehicle that could wake up every morning with free energy from the sun. Investors were hooked. Tech giants like Google supported the idea, venture capital started flowing, people saw Aptera as a legitimate competitor to Tesla, at a time when Tesla itself was still finding its feet. The design was extreme, the efficiency unmatched, and the solar element was unlike anything else on the market. For a brief moment, Aptera didn't just look promising, it looked unstoppable. But hype alone doesn't build factories. The technology was ahead of its time, the business model shaky, and the financial requirements enormous. By 2011, everything crumbled. Aptera desperately needed a crucial loan from the US Department of Energy to push toward production. Without it, they couldn't survive. The loan didn't come. Time ran out. Investors pulled back. Cash evaporated. Deposits were refunded, operations dissolved, and in a matter of months, the once bright star burned out. The futuristic car was declared dead before it even touched the road. However, like many great stories, Aptera's didn't end there. In 2012, a Chinese automaker stepped in and acquired Aptera's intellectual property. They revived it under the name Aptera USA, promising production, innovation, and a fresh start. Yet again, the promises were bold, but the results non-existent. Not a single car made it into the hands of customers. Aptera slowly drifted into the category of legendary fails, a concept enthusiasts remembered, but no one expected to actually return. A ghost in the EV world. Then came the twist no one anticipated. In 2019, the original founders made a dramatic return and revived the company from scratch. This time, the pitch sounded even more futuristic than before. A fully solar-powered EV capable of generating up to 40 miles of free daily range from sunlight alone. That meant most daily commuters could drive indefinitely without ever plugging in. Imagine a world where your car quietly charges itself while you sleep or while you're at work. This wasn't just an EV, it was an energy-independent machine. People didn't just like the idea, they fell in love with it. Crowdfunding erupted with support. Millions were raised. Enthusiasts lined up with more than 30,000 pre-orders. Aptera prototypes began to appear with sleek curves, aircraft-grade aerodynamics, and solar panels covering the entire surface. The drag coefficient, an insanely low 0.13, made it one of the most aerodynamically efficient vehicles ever designed. For a moment, it appeared like Aptera was genuinely back and ready to break history. But then delays returned. Technical adjustments, including dropping their in-wheel motor technology, forced redesigns and slowed progress. And while enthusiasm remained high, money burned even faster. In 2023 alone, Aptera reported losing over $60 million. Investors who initially saw promise began to worry. Supporters who once felt confident started questioning whether the story was slipping into the same tragic cycle as before. CES 2025 was Aptera's opportunity to silence the doubts. They showcased a production-intent prototype designed with Pininfarina, a legendary Italian design firm known for shaping some of the most iconic cars in history. The prototype looked smoother, more refined, and more practical than previous versions. With a claimed 400-mile range and solar charging capabilities, the specs reignited hope. But when all the lights dimmed and the event ended, reality remained unchanged. No customer deliveries. Despite raising more than $140 million, Aptera still needed an additional $60 million just to begin production. The auto industry is unforgiving. Manufacturing a vehicle requires billions, not millions. Legal battles in the background complicated matters even further, draining both time and resources. Right now, Aptera exists in a strange twilight zone. It's not gone, but it's not fully alive. A company suspended between brilliance and uncertainty. A concept so ahead of its time that reality keeps struggling to catch up. The fans love the design. They love the spaceship aesthetics. They love the promise of free solar miles. But mainstream buyers see risk. They see uncertainty. They see a company with a history of failed launches, dissolutions, and delays. And in the automotive world, trust is everything. Once trust breaks, rebuilding it is harder than designing a revolutionary vehicle. Customers may forgive delays, but they won't forget the feeling of being let down. Pre-order enthusiasm has limits. Eventually, people want results, not rehearsals. There is, however, a glimmer of hope. The latest target for initial deliveries is set for late 2025, with scaling planned for 2028. If production begins, Aptera could pioneer an entirely new category in transportation, a self-charging vehicle that breaks free from charging stations and eliminates range anxiety altogether. The kind of technological leap that could inspire an entire new generation of EV design. But if that deadline slips again, if funding doesn't materialize, if manufacturing stalls, if complications multiply, then Aptera risks becoming another chapter in the book of great ideas that never became reality. A company remembered not for what it accomplished, but for what it almost accomplished. At the end of the day, Aptera's journey remains one of the most unusual in the automotive world. A story filled with unrealized potential, visionary engineering, repeated collapses, and surprising resurrections. A dream that refuses to die, even though it still hasn't been born. The idea behind Aptera has always been brilliant. The challenge has always been turning that idea into reality. Whether 2025 or 2026 becomes the year that Aptera finally proves its doubters wrong, or the year that it confirms its critics, remains a mystery.